Hi, I'm Nick, and welcome to the Painter's Mess. So, this week I wanted to make a video on how I painted my Death Guard Moritat. That's in the process. I plan on releasing that sometime next week. Hopefully, the sooner the better. It is almost done, kind of. Video editing is very difficult if you don't know what you're doing and you have a lot of hours of painting, because I probably painted for like 2 to 3 hours on this one guy. And I'm not the slowest painter, but I'm not also the fastest painter. And there's some things I want to fix, but I'm digressing. You don't realize how often you move out of focus, especially because I don't have a wide angled lens for my camera. So I have to be very meticulous on where I keep my hands at all times. And if I decide to like paint really close, I have to refocus my camera, and that kind of fucks everything up depending on where I'm positioned. And I just realized that I said the F word, and I don't know if I could say that. So anyways, I'm going to put that video out, and that's going to have as much cut and kind of descriptive words as far as, you know, what paints I'm using, and as many cuts as possible. And I'm going to make that, you know, its own video. Hopefully it's between 20 and 30 minutes long. But I'm also going to just throw up the recordings of the full recording of the painting process. I'll zoom in a little bit and I'll throw some music on it, and, you know, I'll just throw that as a link to in the description, because I don't feel that it's fully necessary to make it a public publicized video, but I do want that out there in case anybody wants to you know, throw it on while they're painting or something and just kind of like watch the process. And it's going to have a lot of unfocused parts and a little, like, you know, the stints of like putting paint on the palette and like where I'm not touching the model and stuff like that. So it's going to be fine. It's going to be just like a quick time lapse. I'll put it at 2x speed, so that if somebody wanted to slow it down for any reason, put it down to half speed, and that'll put it at normal speed, and then put it down to a quarter, and that'll slow it down a little bit more. So there's that. For this week, or at least what should have been this week's video, I'm just going to talk about a couple things and have a little discussion, and I would love to hear your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. And it is to do with my motivation and my plans for the hobby in the coming weeks, and particularly with my Death Guard army and kind of what I want to do after that. So for one, we did have our Apocalypse game last weekend. I'm going to throw some little footage of its beginning right here. It was a lot of fun. It was really good. We actually made it through the whole game, but we also made it through like a giant storm, which kind of caused a little bit of panic in myself and kind of rush towards the end, but it was a lot of fun. There were 3 Primarchs on the board by the end of the game, and Warlord Titan, and all the other knights had like taken a beating and went down. So the only knight that was remaining was a Warlord Titan, which was pretty cool. That was a lot of fun, and I really enjoy Horus Hersey. I'm really liking the 2nd edition, 7th edition rules. I started the game, I started playing Warhammer in 8th edition, so I never got to experience all of that, and this is actually pretty enjoyable. So on to the main topic, and the main discussion I want to have now is I'm in a limbo state of not knowing when I'm leaving for deployment, although I have a soft date, which means I've been told, but I don't have official orders. And hearing about like what can I do there and what I'm going to be able to do there and stuff like that. So I've been talking with my sponsor, who's the one that helps me get all this stuff done. And I have a solid idea that I'll have a room and the ability to paint, and the ability to, I mean, I'll have a room to myself, which is nice. And the ability to like get Amazon packages, so I could order things off of Amazon to help myself in the hobby. So I can also get mail, and with that I want to either package up my models and some paints and stuff like that prior to leaving, or I could just buy new models from Amazon, which obviously is not supporting my friendly local game store, but I got to make do with what I can while I'm out there. So I plan on packing up some paints, hopefully paints in my suitcase and sea bag, definitely brushes and a palette, and anything else that I can kind of get away with putting in a suitcase. But I also can't overload it because I have to bring the important things like deodorant and a toothbrush and like stuff like that. And clothes. Like I need to bring the things that are actually important. So only things that are going to make there's a list, and if it doesn't make the list, then it's not coming, and I'll have to find my way without it. One of those things that I want to bring with is like a camera arm, because I do want to get a new camera while I'm out there. This one is a fixed lens, so it's kind of difficult to deal with, like not being able to install a wide lens and all of these other problems that I've ran in with this camera. And it's a fantastic camera, but I don't think it's made for video recording, but I'm using it that way. So I've had to make do and kind of do what I can with what I have and what I can afford at the moment. I don't think I'll bring the camera, but I do plan on bringing like the camera arm, which packs up very nicely. I may or may not bring this mic. Otherwise, I'm going to be recording probably on like a lavalier, which I do have, so that's a lot easier to bring with me. I do plan on picking up a new laptop to game with, because unfortunately, I just recently bought a bunch of upgrade parts for my computer, because we upgraded my wife's computer, which is right here, and I went to do the same upgrades to mine, and then I found out that I was deploying, so I was like, well, I guess I'm going to return all that stuff, and I sent it back. So I'm going to use that money to buy a new laptop, which I can bring with me so I can install games and play games while I have some free time. That's what you do on deployment. And I say that knowing that I've been on a ship. When you have off time and you're not either working out or eating or sleeping, you do want to either watch movies or play video games, because what else are you going to do? So for those who cannot play video games, I'm sorry. I've lived on a ship. We had the luxury of doing that, but that's its own other thing. So we don't have to deal with boots on ground as much as any other military branch, being as we're sailors and we go on ships. So this next deployment is not a ship, but I do have the ability to have my own place and, play some games when I have some off time. So planning on bringing a computer for that. Now that I'm ranting about that, I want to talk about what I want to bring and what people think I should bring and what I kind of want to do with my plans. So obviously brushes, palette, maybe some recording stuff, and maybe a couple paints, kind of the standard, but I guess that kind of depends on what I want to do. And one of the thoughts that I had was to pack up my Death Guard and ship that out. I don't know if anybody out there plays Warhammer, but I do want to paint. I do plan on bringing with me a few models that are unbuilt, so I can build them while I'm there. And those are more like display models. I might bring what I was going to do for Resin Beast for Adepticon 2024. But I can't go, so I might bring that and just paint it and bring it along. I might try to see if they'll let me submit it, even though I'm on deployment. So I'm thinking about that, and if I do decide to do that, I will make a video about it. Thing I want to talk about is if I should pack up my Death Guard, or my other thought is to buy the Horus Hersey box set and have that shipped out. So it's still between like $250 and $300, but you can get it on Amazon, which means I could get it shipped out to Amazon. I could get shipped out there from Amazon. I could get it, in X amount of time, and then I could just literally build that box and make a new army. And I thought about that, and I'm very true to using Mark III only in my Death Guard army, which is very difficult to do if you're trying to stick with that, because you have to buy the $80 box for 20 Marines of Mark III and then buy all the upgrade stuff, unless of course you have a 3D printer and you can print out like torsos and heads and all that. But one thing that I still haven't found is a solid substitute for the legs of the Mark III body. that I've actually liked. I found a few different body types and a different, like, couple different not torsos, but different forms of legs. And to me, they all look like trash. So if anybody if anybody ever sees this and is a 3D sculptor and makes Warhammer stuff or Warhammer adjacent, quote unquote, please make a solid Mark III legs that look exactly like the ones from GW. I can either buy I can pack up my Death Guard and try to finish that army and paint it, which a lot of it is either base coated already, and dry brushed. So really I just need like the metallics and the colors, like the green and the red and stuff like that I use, and then some basing material. But I could finish the army that way. So I would just have to pack it up and ship it out, and I would get it and hopefully nothing breaks, and then once I'm done, I would pack it back up and I'd ship it home, which is a very good idea. I think that might be the best way to finish that army. But if I do end up picking up the new Horus Hersey box set, I do want to make I was thinking Raven Guard, because that's something that we don't have at our store. Otherwise, I don't know quite what army I would do. Obviously, it would have to be Loyalist, being that I already have a Trader Guard. I'm thinking Raven Guard, and as of right now, there is a fantastic sculptor on Cults, and he only sculpts Raven Guard, and he has so much stuff, and it makes me so excited. But again, I'm leaving and I won't be able to bring my 3D printer with, so being able to 3D print all of these extra bits is going to be difficult, because I'm not going to be able to do it. So I would have to have somebody do it for me and then ship it out, which again, time and money is an insane amount for that, because I know what 3D printing is and how difficult it can be and what it costs, at least time wise. I want to know what you guys think. So obviously this is a Death Guard Diaries, because it's more about my Death Guard, but I want to know what your thoughts are on what to do. Should I pack up my Death Guard? Should I try to crank out as much as I can before I leave and just say, F it, and then come home and finish it next year? Obviously I don't know if I'm going to play or not, but I could also be the guy who wants to get somebody to play and see if anybody wants to, and have like a little skirmish game. I know how to play Kill Team, so Kill Team would be a lot easier, but obviously that's not 30k, so it's a little different. But Warhammer in general is pretty widespread, and I think even military members probably would play it, because a lot of military members do play it, but usually they're on shore duty, or they're retired, or they're separated, or stuff like that. So let me know what you guys think of kind of what I should do in the comments. If you have a suggestion, tell me how you would go about it, because I know I could go get battle foam and place all the models in there in the little squares, but for me it's like, are they going to hold up that way? Are they going to hold up in shipping? Who knows if they're going to break? And I suppose I could lay another foam sheet around them, as far as like that one sheet on top that usually covers it, so they don't like fall around, and then just stuff the box really well. Or if there's another way to do it. I know you can order pluck foam on Amazon, but it's only like kind of like that thick, so it's really, they'd have to have a sheet underneath them and a sheet on top of them to have them fit, but that would definitely be more specific per model to send them out, because then you're not worrying about the chainsword being like this, or like outwards, or whatever. So how would you go about, if let's put yourself in my shoes and you're like, I'm going to deploy and I'm going to have my models shipped across the world. So how would you go about packing them up? And I do have a bunch of regular Marines. I do have a few tanks. I have a Leviathan. I think I have like 3 Contemptors. Probably around 100 Marines at this point, with different squads, with different accessories, like antennas coming out of their backpack, Voxes, scanners and Vexillas and stuff like that. So think of that. Think of, you know, a standard Death Guard 30k army and how you would pack it up. And obviously don't even think of a Death Guard army. Think of your army. How would you pack it up and ship it across the world so that when you get it, you can work on it and finish it with the least amount of damage possible. I'm going to leave this video with that. I feel that it's been a relatively quick discussion, maybe 20 minutes or so, you know, with cuts and all that. So let me know in the comments. Obviously this isn't the standard Death Guard Diaries where I'm painting something. I do plan on putting that video out, like I mentioned at the beginning, and I do plan on putting out the extended version, which is just all of the painting process at 2x speed. So, you know, throw it on your TV and paint with me. There's going to be no words. It's just going to be like a quick time lapse, which I have a couple other videos like that in my channel. I like that because I like those kind of videos because I just like watching people paint and kind of painting along with them. So like Sergio Calvo, his videos are fantastic because he just time-lapse paints and it's amazing. So it's really enjoyable for me. I hope you can find that enjoyable. Throw on some lo-fi. I'll have some playing in the background. And I hope you enjoy that. If you like this kind of content or want to see me continue the Death Guard Diaries, the best way you can help this channel grow is a comment or like and subscribe, or share it with your friends. Obviously, I don't have a whole lot of content on here. I do want to keep making content, and I do want to continue this, and I do plan on continuing this even into my deployment. I might expand my YouTube repertoire with other things like workout, because I'll be working out every day, like workout stuff. If you're into that kind of thing, kind of like a life on deployment, which is if you're a military member, you've been on deployment and you know the life. It's not that great, but for all of those who aren't, or who aren't, you know, veterans, you might get a peek into what I can share. But if you like I said, if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. It helps me immensely. It actually it boosts my ego a little bit when I get to see numbers that I couldn't even fathom that I didn't ever expect to have. So like my previous video has like, I don't know, 200 and some views, 250 views. And I want you to know that that makes me so freaking happy. And I check it every day. And I don't know why. I'm not I wouldn't narcissistic. Sure, I'm not narcissistic, but like, it does just give me a little ego boost that people are watching these videos and are enjoying it. And, you know, I have like 20 hours of screen time, and like, I can't believe that. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Every time you guys watch a video or you post a comment, it makes me so happy, and it really makes my day. So keep it up. I appreciate it. You guys are fantastic. My name is Nick. This is the Painter's Mess. Embrace your mess, embrace the mess, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Oh, and go paint a mini. Go paint one mini at a time. Just finish your armies. Go paint one mini. Okay, bye.